Hey guys, my name's WBA here. Welcome back to episode 9, I believe, of Can't Stop Progress. We're here with the milestone chapter 50 at the Electric Ballroom. Let's get straight into it. As always, Jim Smallman welcomes everybody to the show. Chapter 50 doesn't actually have a name yet. Progress haven't named it, and I'm too lazy to think of a name, so we're just calling it chapter 50 for now. Jim Smallman welcoming everybody to the show. In front of 1,100 people in the ballroom, so a full crowd, a 30E plus to get us started as we go into our first match, where in a decent match, Travis Banks and Nixon Null defeated TK Cooper and Dahlia Black in 12 minutes and 53, where Nixon Null defeated Dahlia by pinfall with a Vulture Culture Destroyer. So the feud between TK and Travis continues. The girlfriends of each wrestler have got involved now, Dahlia and Nixon. TK and Dahlia with excellent chemistry. Dahlia with a 35, TK with a 40, Nixon with a 34, and Travis Banks with a very impressive 48. Nixon improving her performance, Travis improving his rumble, so a 42D, a good opening match to start us off. As we go into the next segment, where we have a tag team Wasteman challenge, where Jack Sexsmith and Roy Johnson challenge any tag team on the roster to a match. A nice 34E plus to hype up the match, which is followed by a very, very good match where the Origin Banter Edition, Dave Mastiff and Al Ligero, defeat the Shirtlifters Jack Sexsmith and Roy Johnson in 13 minutes 31, when Dave Mastiff defeats Roy Johnson by pinfall with a senton bomb. Roy Johnson with a 38, Jack Sexsmith with a 36, Al Ligero with a very good 52, and Dave Mastiff with a 44. So good all round there. Mastiff improving his performance, which is good to see. Happy with a 47D for that match. Wasn't quite expecting that with the Shirtlifters in there. And then into our next match, the first title match of the evening and the first title change of the evening as well. In a decent match, Joe Coffey defeated Matt Riddle in 9 minutes 31 by pinfall, illegally using the ropes for leverage. Joe Coffey wins the Progress Atlas Championship title. He's turning heel. He's got an above average badass gimmick now. Turn was a complete success. Riddle and Coffey have good chemistry, which is nice to see. Riddle with a 41, Coffey with a 43. Not much of an improvement on the previous champion, but a little bit will do. We're looking to build him up the card still, Coffey. A 41D is a decent match for those two. No work improvements, unfortunately, but Joe Coffey is your new Atlas champion. As we go into our next match, the repeat of the Super Strong Style 16 final was for the title after Robinson interfered in the initial match. And in a bout that had great heat and good wrestling, with Paul Robinson banned from ringside for this match, I should say, Will Ospreay defeats Mark Haskins in 15 minutes 46 by pinfall with a 6:30 splash. Mark Haskins visibly tiring towards the end. Haskins with a 47, unfortunately. Ospreay with a 60, another good performance for him. Haskins improving his performance skills. A 61C, a very good match for us. As you'd expect for Haskins and Ospreay. So Ospreay keeps the Super Strong Style title, tournament title, and keeps his #1 contendership for Pete Dunne's title. Following that, we have the little intermission, and then cut back to Paul Robinson in the ring with the microphone. He was banned from ringside for the previous match. He's in the ring now, he's pumped, he's looking for a fight. And out comes the debuting Austin Aries. He was released by the WWE. We signed him up on a very, very good deal. He's debuted as Egomaniac gimmick, which has unfortunately got an awful. Little insight here. I've actually recorded this episode once before and realised that I'd pressed the start streaming button instead of the start recording button, and actually got an excellent for this gimmick the first time round. Unfortunately got an awful this time, so we're going to have to look to do something there. but Austin Aries, current WWE superstar in real life, just missed out on capturing the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania. Debuts to a 37 D-, and then in a bout that had great heat and decent wrestling, Austin Aries then defeats Paul Robinson in his debut in 15 minutes by submission with the last chancery. Both performers actually getting a 51 in-ring performance there, which is not bad. Two very contrasting styles, but two similar performances rating-wise. No work improvements, but a 50D plus is a decent match for Aries and Robinson. As we go into our next match, it's the match that crowns the Natural Progression Series 4 champion and the Progress Women's champion, and in a bout that had decent wrestling but unfortunately not a lot of heat, Laura Di Matteo defeated Ginny and Toni Storm in an elimination match in 12 minutes and 25, with Ginny eliminated first after Laura Di Matteo and Toni Storm sort of team up to eliminate her. She was the favourite going into the match. And then Laura Di Matteo defeating Toni Storm afterwards. So Laura Di Matteo, from being bullied by Ginny to breaking out of her shell to going through the training, is your new Natural Progression Series champion and your Progress Women's champion. Ginny and Laura Di Matteo with a 40, Toni Storm with a 32. Match rating of a 40 D-, which isn't too bad. Unfortunately, not a couple of ratings higher, but a 40 D- isn't terrible for that. And then after that, Ginny runs back to the ring, attacks Laura Di Matteo after her win, carrying on the feud of Ginny and Laura. As you would expect, that one's not going to die down soon. As we go into our next match, the semi-main event, where in a good match, the leaders of the New School defeat Mustache Mountain in a submission match in 18 minutes 25, when Marty Scurll defeats Tyler Bate by submission. The leaders of the New School are your new Progress Tag Team Champions. If you remember from the last episode, Trent Seven challenged Zack Sabre Jr. to a match. Zack Sabre Jr. won. He got to choose the gimmick for this match. The stipulation was the term I was looking for there. He chose submissions only, and the leaders of the New School have defeated Mustache Mountain, or British Strong Style, however you want to call them. Sabre Jr. with a very impressive 67, Marty Scurll with a 54, Tyler Bate with a 51, Trent Seven unfortunately only getting a 40 there. Don't know if he's not suited to submission matches. But a 57C- rating overall is very good, and Zack Sabre Jr. improving his performance skills. So we've got our first women's champion, a new Atlas champion, and a new tag team new tag team champions in these the New School. 57C-, very good match. Will we see a new Progress champion as we go into our main event? It's Pete Dunne versus Rampage Brown. Rampage earning his title shot after the win in the six-man tag match. Picked up the pin on Nathan Cruz, I believe, in a match that also had Pete Dunne on. So he holds a victory over Pete Dunne in a tag competition. Will he get it in singles? Unfortunately not. Where in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne defeats Rampage Brown in 14 minutes and 56 seconds by pinfall with a bitter end. Pete Dunne makes defence number 6 of his Progress Championship title in a 40-60, which is unfortunate. It's a little bit low. Pete Dunne with a 49, Rampage with a 36. He probably went a little bit long for him. No worker improvements to comment upon. But as we end the show with a very disappointing, really, for what we've been doing, 48D+. I don't think it's the worst match we've had, but it's definitely not the best. As we're going to give Joe Coffey, you're going to compliment him on his new win. I say on his new win, on his new title. We're going to compliment Zack Sabre Jr. He did the best in the tag match. And we'll compliment Laura Di Matteo as well for winning the Progress Women's. All pleased after that. So a little bit disappointing show all in all. it was really the main event let us down a little bit. Rampage didn't quite hold up his end of the bargain, really. Slightly less than 10,000 people watch that, unfortunately. Ospreay's feeling a bit tired as well. Let's see what the fans had to say. It was still awesome. We still outshone some of the bigger companies' recent efforts, apparently. I feel like if Pete Dunne had a slightly better competition for the title match for the main event, then it would have probably pulled us up to 50 overall, maybe. But Rampage really was kind of the only person with the other matches going on that could be in that match. Obviously, the other members of that tag match were Mark Andrews and Dave Mastiff. Dave Mastiff was already in a match. I couldn't really justify giving Andrews another title match because I think he's had one or two already. I believe he's lost to Pete Dunne at Chapter 46. I think he might have had another one at some point as well, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I am. He hasn't had one, but he'd already had a title match. I didn't want to give him another one straight away. But a 48D+, so not our worst pay-per-view, but definitely not our best. We'd had a run of 50s, running back from the Orlando show, a 52, 53, 52, 51, 52, 55, to go from the 55C- of Super Strong Style 17 down to the 48D is a little disappointing. But as you can see here, we went from a 49, 56, 57 at Super Strong Style to a 40, 57, 46. So you can see why it's less. You would think in real life it would be better, this card. I was very happy with it looking on it. We carried on some of the storylines. We got in some of the big players from the start of Progress. We had every title match defended, and we had a huge debut in Austin Aries, and you'll have to look forward to where he goes from here. But if we just take a quick look at our title prestige, Riddle got it up to a 65C from a 55C-. It's gone down to a 62 now, though. I don't know whether that's because either Riddle didn't defend it or it was a poorer match, or now that Coffey's won it. But we're at a 62C at the moment. The Progress Championship has gone from a 70 or a 71C+ up to it was 85B+ at one point. It's now an 80B. I feel like that's probably because of that poor match against Rampage, maybe. I feel like it would have been decent going up till then. But it's an 80B at the moment. The Natural Progression Series has gone up to a 62 after being won by Laura Di Matteo. So that's nice to see. Super Strong Style, Ospreay winning it. It's gone up by 10 from 75B- to an 85B+. The Tag Team Championship has risen even more by the leaders winning it. It's gone from a 46 when we started to a 59. And the Progress Women's Championship, it had been dropping with no champion. But Laura Di Matteo has won it. It's gone back up to a 32E+. So we'll have to be building up the women and the Women's Championship as we go along. But thank you for watching this episode, guys. You'll have to look forward to pretty much a new, if you pardon the pun, a new chapter in Progress now. Now that we have a women's champion, a new tag team champion, and a new Atlas champion. We'll have to see what's ahead for Chapter 51. But as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.